Now, this episode of The Twilight Zone had nothing to do with the producers, actors, directors, and the creator of The Twilight Zone, Rod Serling, but was brought in because of its international fame as a short drama. Now, an occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge probably is one of the best episodes of Twilight Zone, but again, it's not a Twilight Zone episode. Now, this in French is called The Owl River, Le Vivier de Hibou. This came out in 1961. It was a short film almost without dialogue. It was based on the 1890 American short story the same name by American Civil War soldier, wit, and writer Ambrose Bierce. It was directed by Robert Enrico and produced by Marcel Ichak and Paul de Rabada, with music by Henri Lano. It won awards at the Cannes Film Festival and the Academy Awards. The film was later screened on American TV as episode 22 of the fifth season of TZ on February 28, 1964. Now, Roger Jacquet and Anne Cornely were the main actors in the movie, and Enrico did the editing as well with Denise de Casablanca. Music by Henri Leno. Production companies were Franco London Films, Sinfonio Films, and Le Film de Senteur. Patty Distribution, 1962, 28 minutes, so it was a cut slightly for broadcast. Now, in this short film, a handbill posted on a burnt tree dated 1862 announces that anyone interfering with bridges, railroads, or tunnels will be summarily executed. Union troops prepare a civilian prisoner, Peyton Farquhar, for death by hanging from a rural railroad bridge. The soundtrack contains only bird noises and pre-military orders. As a rope is adjusted about Farquhar's neck, a vision of his home, wife, and children flashes before him. Now, when Farquhar is dropped from the bridge, the rope breaks and he falls into the river. He frees himself from his bonds, removes his boots, and begins swimming downstream as the troops fire them. Very effective scene, very similar to you would see in a war movie, like, First or Second World War, very well put together. Farquhar is swept through rapids and crawls ashore, exhausted but laughing with relief. Glimpses of tree branches, sky, and crawling insects are interrupted by a distant cannon shot, which sends him running through a forest, then along a linear and orderly lane. Finally arriving at the gates of his home, he pushes his way through foliage. Farquhar reaches open lawn and runs towards his wife as she walks toward him, smiling and weeping. Just as the couple are about to fall in each other's arms, Farquhar stiffens and gasps, and his head snaps back. The scene cuts back to his body hanging from the bridge, his entire escape reunion with his wife, revealed to be an illusion experienced in a moment of the drop. Now, on February 64, 3 years after its production, the film was shown again on American television as an episode of the fifth season of The Twilight Zone. Producer William Frug had seen the film and decided to buy the American broadcast rights. Some scenes were shortened to fill constraints on running time, and the audio track was completely replaced. Now, the episode's introduction is notable for Serling breaking the fourth wall even more than usual, as he explains how the film was shot overseas and later picked up to air as part of The Twilight Zone. Serling's introduction is as follows, delivered while sitting on a soundstage next to a movie camera. Tonight, a presentation so special and unique that for the first time in 5 years, we're presenting The Twilight Zone. We're offering a film shot in France by others. Winner of the Cannes Film Festival of '62, as well as other international awards, here's a haunting study of the incredible from the past master of the incredible Ambrose Bierce. Here's the French production of An Occurrence of Owl Creek Bridge. His closing narration goes this: An occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge in two terms, as it was dreamed and as it was lived and died. This is the stuff of fantasy, the thread of imagination, the ingredients of The Twilight Zone. Now, the transaction cost The Twilight Zone $25,000, significantly less than the average of $65,000 they expended on producing their own episodes. However, Frug's purchase allowed the film to be aired only twice. Consequently, it is not included in the Twilight Zone syndication package. Now, in other packages in Canada, it is shown. Now, it has been included with the series on home video releases. Now, Marc Scott Zicret's The Twilight Zone Companion incorrectly states the French film was purchased for $10,000. This mistake has been reprinted in a number of books since the '84 publication. The Twilight Zone, Unlocking the Door to a Television Classic by Martin Grams, correctly verifies the purchase price. as $20,000 plus $5,000 additional costs for re-editing. Now, according to Zikri, an occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge was the last episode of the classic TZ to be produced, presumably referencing the re-editing and the addition of footage of Rod Serling, as production of the series was cancelled afterwards. It was not, however, the last episode of the series to be broadcast, because various episodes were in the can before this was shown. Now, why this is effective is because you really believe that this soldier has escaped. There's no indication that he's anything but a dedicated family man that wants to get back home to his family. Because the first thing he thinks about when he gets out is getting back. And this would be probably a few miles away or whatever, because how it worked in the Civil War, usually soldiers are very close to the front, or were within, riding or running distance of homesteads or farms, and because Civil War was basically a rural battle in many ways. People from rural communities were joining up, and not too many from the cities. So it's very effective, and like the snapping back. The first time I saw this episode actually was not in the syndication you're talking about, but I think it was WDIV when it was added to that syndication package. And the one I saw was not edited. It was like I said, well put together. But it feels like almost like something you would see of a long poem. The visuals tell the stories like it's talking to you, and it really works quite effectively. Now, the 62 Cannes Film Festival, Best Short Subject, 63 Academy Awards, Best Live Action Short Film, and of course, the Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge was preserved by the Academy Film Archive in 2012. So, considered one of the greatest short films of all time. So that's the story of how one of the greatest short films ever ended up in the Twilight Zone. If you like what you're doing here, we're a Twilight Zone archived history stories. Let us know what you like, comment, subscribe, or share. But if you're seeing this for the first time, it's going to freak you out because you don't see it coming. Have a good one. Bye.